Hello, hello. Well, this is an awesome question. This has been percolating for a while for me, and I just wanted to share some thoughts around this whole question. Should I buy the reMarkable Paper Pro? But that question is based in, will it work for me? Like, is it what I need, right? And I find that it always comes down to two things. So without further ado, let's jump over and have a look. To answer the question, I need to explain two other things to you first, all right? On my desktop, you will see I've got my reMarkable 2, I've got my BOOX, and I've also got my iPad over here. Let me just bring it. It's so cool that you can get the reMarkable app on the iPad, because I wanted to draw a few comparisons and explain a few concepts before you can actually decide. You know, it's just more information really, because of the landscape, the digital landscape, the way it is right now. I think there's a few considerations that will help you in making that decision. So let's hop over and have a look. I'll just downsize me over here. This is cool. So cool. All right. Should you buy the reMarkable Paper Pro or the reMarkable 2 or the BOOX, one of the many BOOXes, or an iPad or a Big Me or a VWoods, or, you know, just the list goes on, right? Let's go through it. So two things. It always comes down to two things. These are the two things. I'm not going to keep you in suspense, but I am going to explain a few things. Are you looking for a notebook, or are you looking for a digital ecosystem? Yeah. Okay. And you're saying to me, how are you defining that, Martine? What exactly is that? So I just thought I would just go through what I mean by both, because, you know, you can say one thing, but then there's the definition, right, of what does that mean. So what is a digital ecosystem to me? And because I wanted to use the layers, a statement about a digital ecosystem is your digital ecosystem will actually determine your workflow. And whether you realize it or not, you have a workflow, or we all have a workflow, right? So for me, I've got, I actually pulled it up on here just so that I would have a quick handy reference. I've got these 9 pillars that there's a video, if you're interested, if you're new to digital, getting yourself organized in a digital space, if you come from paper planners and you're moving over to a digital planner, or you're in a work job and you've actually got to start using a reMarkable, or you've got to take digital notes and, you know, that's all new to you, then these 9 pillars may help you, because it's just a very beginner's introduction to all the things that you need, right? And it's self-explanatory. The video goes into it more, but it's useful in this discussion about whether the reMarkable 2 is a good fit for you, the Paper Pro or the RM2, because of the big 4. So the big 4, again, this is just something I came up with to help beginners in that space, right? It's not an exhaustive, you know, study on anything, but it's a good place to start. It's a starting place. So the big 4, in my opinion, are your scheduling apps, your note-taking apps, your task management system, and journaling. I included that because I think it's very important. And I do think lots of people have journals, make notes, even if it's in a notes app, like of reflective thoughts and things. That's what journaling is. So yeah, I think that's super important. So first of all, just to recap, I love a recap. I love a good recap. A digital ecosystem is when you combine those big 4, the big 4, when you combine all those things, and we do it using our computer, we do it using our phones, we do it using our digital tablets. We've got sort of combination of all those things going on right now. Remember iTunes, remember the iPod? That was part of our digital, like music is part of your digital ecosystem. It may not be so much part of your workflow if you don't work in music, but if you do, then that too. So now let's just discuss digital tools for a second, because I think this is the crux of the conversation, that, or just the information I'd like to put out there in this visual, right? this is sort of what we've got going on. We've got computers, and we all know what computers are, right? So we've got those. And then we've got this other space over here that it depends what words you use, but a mini computer for years has been like an iPad, right? And then there's the Samsung tablet. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called, but all the Android versions of that. And that term digital tablet has been applied in that space. I could use those interchangeably for sort of the definition of what I'm talking about here. But it just depends on what sort of words you use to describe that same space. And then we have, is it a new category? Is it emerging? A digital notebook. Okay, hold that thought. So if I was to move this picture around a bit, I would take the computer and pop it here. I would take the digital notebook and put it here. And I would actually keep these two, whatever other words you want to assign there, completely up to you. I would keep those there. And I think our digital tools, like the big categories, come in here. Okay, loosely. Don't shout me down, but just, again, just sharing some thoughts. Where does an iPad fit? Let's talk about that. I think very clearly, let's make sure we're on a pen, an iPad fits here, into as a digital tablet. It's like a mini computer. There's a very small few things that I can't do on my iPad, and I have to go to my computer. So my computer is my daily driver. That's why I haven't switched to just being full on iPad, because things like apps, my back office on my website, there's just certain settings I can't access from my iPad, even from my phone. Like even running a Facebook group, there are some settings in the admin part you just can't, it won't let you do on your phone or an iPad. So mini computer, digital tablet, whatever you're calling it, I have to go to my laptop to do that, right? So there is some difference in the way that's all programmed behind the scenes. And then there's the digital notebook. So the digital notebook is not a mini tablet, a mini computer or a digital tablet. It may appear like a digital tablet, but it's a notebook. It's a notebook. And I think this is where some of the clarification is good for reMarkable. And then there's, so I wanted to talk about BOOX and I wanted to talk about reMarkable and just sort of tell you where I think they fit. Again, just my opinion. So the BOOX, we'll do the reMarkable last. Why not? The BOOX, come on little baby girl. She's probably gone to sleep now because, yeah, that's going to take a minute. So it was really just there, just demonstration purposes. When I first got the BOOX, I actually thought it was like an iPad. That's what I thought. And I do think that maybe that's what they were going for in that terms. Like I would put the BOOX closer here. I would put the BOOX, look, if we had an imaginary line, I would put the BOOX above that line into that digital tablet space. I know it's e-ink, so learning about e-ink, it's a technology, right? It doesn't mean that an e-ink device is just a notebook. It doesn't mean that. E-ink is a whole different technology for screens and how it works, right? Where does the reMarkable fit? So the reMarkable Paper Pro, and we know it's the same software on the reMarkable 2, apart from anything to do with colour, of course, because that's not on the reMarkable 2. And the sizing is different, so you've got some considerations there. The reMarkable is a digital notebook. Yeah, the reMarkable is a digital notebook. Yeah, so let me leave it there for a second and let us just talk about the ecosystem now that we're all looking for. We all want an ecosystem. We all have different things that we access. Apps are an integral part of our life, right? And so we are looking for how we place those apps in our digital ecosystem. And so here's the deal. With BOOX, you can have the Google Play Store. Wait a minute, go back. 1 second. So with BOOX, this is the pen for BOOX, they have the Google Play Store. And you can get access to all of the apps. And just look, just a note, the apps aren't yet designed really for an e-ink tablet, so they do look odd at times, but the functionality is mostly there. Right, so let us just go back 1 second. And you can put, so like on here, like I've got Coles, it's my shopping app, right? So that's part of my home life workflow, if you want to put it that way, in a digital space. So I've got Coles. YouTube, I've got Notion is my task manager currently, so I use that. I've got Google Calendar, which I use as my scheduler. This is all part of my ecosystem, and the BOOX device lets you put sideload apps onto it. Maybe sideload, maybe front load. I mean, depending on how you're defining the word sideload. And then there's the iPad. So let's bring over the iPad again. Same, I'm actually in my reMarkable, let me turn it sideways. I'm in my reMarkable app. Down here, can you see that? I'm in my reMarkable app. And I'm just looking at this document, but you can get all the apps. I've got Notion, I've got my Google Workspace, I've got my GoodNotes, I've got my editor for my videos. Again, it's a digital ecosystem workflow, right? For me, this is my workflow of all the apps that I use. All right, so we've explained that. When it comes to the reMarkable, they don't have an ecosystem where you can load other apps and use this tablet that way. So I suppose I wanted to answer the question by explaining all of these things, right? So let's move on to the next screen. So we have the digital ecosystem. We've talked about that, and we've got the digital tools. We've talked about the different categories of those tools: computers, tablets, like an iPad, mini computers, digital tablets, and digital notebooks. And I've given you 2 examples already. So Apple, I don't know if you remember back in the day when Apple was locked down, like there was no ecosystem with Apple. Apple was its own thing, and it was great for graphics, and it had then its own word processor and stuff like that. And that was it. But they learned how to expand. And I think they used the Apple Store, you know, to really, they did music with iTunes and then the Apple Store. And the Apple Store brought all of these other third parties into the Apple ecosystem. So you could stay in Apple and you could get lots of many other options to help you with your day, to work and organize your day. And I've got there, you know, comprehensive options: scheduler, tasks, journals, note takers. I mean, that's where I get all my apps from on the iPad device. Now in the BOOX, then down here we've got they have a workflow ecosystem too. They use the Google Play Store to bring everyone into their world, BOOX, and you can manage all that over here on your BOOX device, right? So again, you've got this ecosystem going on where you can manage your workflow in either of those spaces. And really it just comes down to preference as to which one you want for that. Or you may be at work and they may be Apple-centric and maybe you don't have a choice. I mean, who knows? Then there's the reMarkable world, right? Their workflow is notebooks. That's what it is. With access to those notebooks, you can get access to them. You can turn them into PDFs and send them wherever you want, to yourself and to others, right? There is no app store with reMarkable at the moment. There may be in the future, but there isn't at the moment on this digital notebook, right? So what have I got? The rMPP is, it's a digital notebook with benefits. I love it. It's a digital notebook with benefits. It's a quality digital notebook with benefits. So what do you need? Really? We did all that just to answer this question for yourself. So you can answer this question for yourself. Do you need an ecosystem? Are you looking for an ecosystem? Are you wanting the reMarkable to be an ecosystem? Because that won't work. It doesn't have that ability. That's not its laneway, right? Or do you need a digital notebook? And I haven't gone into all of the beauties of the digital notebook. I haven't gone into that because the question really that I see so much, the conversation that is prevailing is wanting the reMarkable to be like an iPad, and it's not an iPad. So I just wanted to make a video and put it out there. It's just, do you want a notebook or do you want an ecosystem? And that could help you make up your mind as to what you need. All right. So that's it. Just some thoughts. Just put out there into the digital landscape in end of 2024. All right. I'll see you in the next one.